of earrings using the Zola Elements wood and resin focals. So I have two different styles here and they're going to look very similar, but what I wanted to do is take an opportunity to show you that you can do a post earring or an earring hook. So I'm going to show you both versions in this video. So let's talk about what these focals are. So these are made of a colored resin at the top, and you can see that that's drilled on this particular one right there. And then it has a nice wood base. And what I love about these is that they are thick, so they're going to offer a really beautiful style. They're still very lightweight. So as you can see, I'm going to be doing a turquoise version here. And then I have this sort of army green and peachy pink version here. And let me just draw your attention up here. What I have is I've brought out some of the other color variations we have, so you can mix and match and choose the ones that you like. All right, so let's first get started, and I'm gonna start with this one because this is gonna involve a little bit of glue. So for this one, we're gonna need some E6000, and I have a little Post-it note here. And what we're gonna do is we're going to add our little surgical steel post right onto the back of it, just like so. And we're going to use a little E6000 to do that. So I have my little scrap of wire here. Let me just kind of get a little bit of glue onto it. I find it's easier to work that way. There we go. All right, now you don't need much, but I'm going to do both here. So let me just get a little bit of glue. Get that onto my little scrap of wire. You can also use a toothpick as well. And I'm going to add that onto the center of my post and kind of smoosh it around a little bit. We don't, like I said, we don't want too much, but just enough because we really want a good bond. And then I'm going to do this with my pliers so you can kind of see what I'm doing. But you're just going to center it right down onto that wood and resin piece, just like so. And I'm just pressing down. There we go. And that looks pretty centered. I'm just going to move that around just a bit. There we go. All right, I'm just going to quickly repeat with the other one, and then I'm going to set these aside. And again, just kind of getting that nice little blob right in the middle there. There we go. All right. And again, I'll just sort of do this with my pliers so you can sort of see. Now you can move it up a little bit towards the top or down a little bit depending on how you want it to sit on the ear. I'm going to go right as dead center as I can eyeball. There we go, and I'm just pressing it down just a little bit. All right, perfect. So while that is all drying, I'm going to just set that all aside there. We're going to move on to our second style. Now for this style, we're going to need our pair of chain nose pliers to put this together, but this one does not involve any glue. Because instead of having a link like I'm using to make those at the top there, I just noticed that shifted, there we go. I'm going to be using these little links here. So instead of the pendant, I'm going to use the link. So let's take a look at this. Now you have a couple of different design options with this one. What you can do is you can actually do the wood, resin, or you can flip it around and you can have that resin touching just like so. I think I'm going to do an alternating one. Let me see how that looks. Actually, I think I might go this way. I think it'll be a nice little sort of mirror image there. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna use some jump rings. Now these are really pretty twisted jump rings, and these are from Nunn Design. And because the jump ring needs to be so large to accommodate the thickness of the focals, I suggest using a jump ring that has a little bit of something going on to it. But when we get up to the top, you're going to see why I'm going to switch over to a different jump ring. So let me start first by taking one of my jump rings here into my chain nose and my bent chain nose pliers. And I'm just going to give that a nice little gentle twist, opening it nice and wide. And I'm going to slide on my focal and slide on the top connector there and kind of let that fall together because I want to be able to get a nice grip. There we go. And now we're just going to close that up, making sure it's got a nice good closure there. All right, so that's part one. So you can see how we needed such a big jump ring there to fill that space. Now this is an 8.5 millimeter jump ring and it is 17 gauge. So it's going to be kind of part of our design. So like I said, we want to make it pretty. All right, so now up at the top, I want to mirror that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another jump ring, Give it a nice little gentle twist open, slip it on here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just go ahead and close this jump ring up so that we have a nice balance in our design. So we have that nice jump ring on either side of that top connector. Now, I want to add an earring hook. Now you have a couple different options. You can twist that earring hook to the side, but I really want that nice, sleek, elegant look to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these little itty bitty jump rings. Now this is a 4mm 19 gauge jump ring. And I'm just very tiny with my pliers. I'm going to give that a little twist open. And I'm going to slip it onto the jump ring here. And I want this to be nice and tight. There we go. And then I'm going to slide on that earring hook. So then just coming in and closing up that jump ring, it's going to help orient our earring hook, but it won't take away really from the design of the larger jump rings. So it's nice and small, it's almost kind of hidden in there. So you can just see how that one looks. All right, so while that other one's still drying, I'm just going to put my second earring together. And that way you can see it one more time. But it's really simple, just jump rings, very, very easy. And you just need just basic tools. So if you want to do this version, there's no glue or anything like that involved. And I just love these jump rings from Nunn Design. They're really, really versatile, and they do come in several other styles. But like I said, these are 8.5mm and they're 17 gauge. So just if you're wondering kind of what fits with this particular design, we find that these ones fit really nicely. You could also go bigger and make it an even bigger element to the design. That's absolutely your choice. And the tiny one at the top. Oh, did I open it big enough? Yes, I did. Okay. It's a little finicky because I want it to be tiny. You could also go bigger as well. All right, let's slip that one on. And just making sure I have a nice good closure with the tippy tips of my pliers there. There we go. All right. So now we have our one pair finished over here. Now normally I would recommend that you let this dry for a little bit longer, but I'm going to continue here, so hopefully I won't knock my glue out of the way. So what I'm going to do is the easy thing is we're going to do the same thing with our beautiful twisted jump rings from Nunn Design. Now these are similar. They are 8.5mm, but these ones are going to be 16 gauge. So just about the same though. All right, and then go ahead and carefully slip it on to your post. And I'm going to kind of get this post out of the way as much as I can because I don't want to knock it loose. There we go. All right. So this is what our earring is going to look like. So you have that post in the back. So it's a little bit of a different look. You can see this one has a little bit more going on at the top. It's going to be obviously a much longer earring, but this one here has that post on the back. Now don't worry, I know you might be concerned that you'll see that little piece on the front. You'll see it through the resin and you can see that it's a little bit darker, but don't forget this will be up against your ear, so it will be dark anyway. So don't even worry about that. All right, let me do my second one really quickly here. So I do want to make a mention here. If you are going to do post earrings, you have a couple different options in backs. And the ones that I chose here today are these little rubber bullet clutch backs. And the reason I wanted to do that is because if you do have sensitive ears but still want to do this design, just know that these posts are surgical steel. And then to just kind of make sure that you don't have any extra added irritation, you can add on these little bullet clutches here. And they're just going to be a nice little rubber. There's no metal involved here at all. So these are really nice and they're nice and hidden. But like I said, these are lightweight, so if you didn't want to do the post, you don't have to. I know sometimes we like to do that with our heavier earrings. But these are the two different designs, and I would flip that over, but definitely make sure that you let it dry for at least 24 hours. We want to make sure that you have a nice secure bond so that you don't lose your earrings. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. You can get all of these supplies and see even more tutorial videos by heading over to Beadaholique.com.